Oh, hello, 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 hello. How's it going, people? Welcome to the stream. Welcome, 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 welcome. It is Thursday. It is Thursday. We are almost there. Premier League is back in action. Nearly there. Nearly there. And of course, Arsenal are also back in action on Saturday as they are facing Fulham. And yeah, there are lots of talks about this game, which on paper should be a must win. It is a must win game as well for me personally. It's a must win game no matter what. Every single game, to be honest, for Arsenal is a must win game. But looking at the schedule that is coming up right now, the upcoming 7 games, every single game is a must win game if we want to have any chances to do some things. Let's be real, because the second after the November international break, which is after these 7 games, it is looking much tougher. Let's just put it that way. Also, with December coming in, Boxing Days and all this stuff, New Year's, it's going to be much harder. So at the end of the day, we have 7 games, upcoming games, until the next international break. We are kicking things off with the game against Fulham, right? And yeah, as I said, must-win game. It is a must-win game no matter what. No excuses, nothing about the injuries, nothing about anything. Go out there, get the 3 points, and let's do this. But yeah, obviously Arsenal are facing some injury issues, but we still have the squad to do it. Obviously, playing against Fulham in recent times, it's not been great. It definitely has not been great. The last time we won there was in 2023 2023, when we won there 3-0. After that, we have lost there 2-1, and we have gone a draw 1-1. So no matter how you look at it, technically, to some extent, Arsenal's B team, right? They have Emil Smith-Rowe and Leno, they had Willian and all these guys. Definitely, it's going to be a rough one. But still, I expect us to come out on top, because if we want to win the league, if we want to do that, it all starts on Saturday, and it's a must win, especially after everything that Liverpool is not in a good form. Other teams are struggling as well. We must take advantage of that as much as we can, because yeah, we are not that consistent. Obviously, we have 5 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss this season, which on paper should be great. Ironically enough, the loss and the draw have been games that also should be wins. Because if we were actually, let's just say we took more risks, we were more forward thinking, and we were not that scared to play at Anfield, to play against City at the Emirates, we could have been 7-0. We could have gone 7-7. And that would be a completely different story in terms of the league position. Because after 7 games, I'm not talking about position in the league. I'm talking about the mental aspect of that. That would be much more impressive, and it would send a message through the whole league, because we had one of the toughest starts of the season, and not gonna lie, we have come out unscathed to some extent. Obviously, in an ideal scenario, it would be 7-7, but it's not. So we have to take that under the chin. We have to take that. We have to take the draw and the loss, and it is what it is. But Liverpool are struggling, and yeah. That's about it. Liverpool are not in a good place. Fulham at the moment also. Fulham as well. Obviously, it's just start of the season, but in 7 games, they have 2 wins, 2 draws, 2 losses, 8 points. They're sitting 14th in the table, right? -3 goal difference. So they are not at the moment in the gear as well. But coming after international break, the teams that have usually the most players going to international breaks tend to struggle. And obviously, Arsenal always get put into that, because we have quite a few internationals. It will be very interesting to see who plays in the 10. It will be interesting to see how Merino gets utilized, if he gets utilized, because as always, Merino has phenomenal national games, and when he comes to Arsenal, completely different team, different style, different tactic, different system. He is, well, bad. Let's just put it that way. So it will be very interesting to see. Of course, big up Mubarak as well. Big up everyone in the chat. Hope everyone's doing great. Well, despite it's London Derby and the away game, absolutely, Arsenal still on the positive side. We must win. We must win no matter what. Big up, AJ. Hope you're doing well. The hardest working man in the community. Big up to you, my guy. Big up, Dre. Big up, Dre. Big up, Dreadly Fell Aim and everything. Big up to you, my guy. Yeah, people, don't forget to like and subscribe if you are new around here. We are still trying to go above, to get to the 1,000, of course. Watching the Arsenal ladies, so we'll not be taking much, talking much. I assume talking, maybe taking. Yeah, Yeah. Arsenal ladies are playing Benfica in the Women's Champions League today. The game has already started, 2 minutes in, still 0-0. Will be interesting to see how it happens, what it goes, and if Arsenal can win, because our women's team this season also have been struggling, and it will be interesting to see can they overcome that, because last season with Renee Slegas and everything, it was a phenomenal achievement to some extent to win the Champions League. And yeah, if we can do it, would be quite fantastic. Let's just put it that way. Big up AFC always. Big up. I got attacked last night by two Arteta sexuals, bit bruised and shaken up. I hit one of them there, legs and jelly. Knees weak, comes heavy, mom's spaghetti and vomit already and all this stuff, right? It's a nuts one. Big up Fusion is not jazz. Big up my guy. Big up my guy. Hope you're doing well. I'm okay. Yeah. Big up, Hendon. Hope you're doing well. Hendon. Hope everything's fine with you today as well, my bro. Hope everyone's treated you well. Nothing too nuts, too crazy for him has happened to you today. But yeah, Arsenal face Fulham. Arsenal obviously are expected to win the game. And one of the biggest question marks for this game still remains. When it's gonna happen? When Gyökeres is going to start score goals? I think that is one of the biggest questions, I think, for this season in general. At what point Gyökeres is about to start bang? Because so far, as I said, 7 games into Premier League, 3 goals. 2 against Leeds, 1 against Nottingham Forest. One of them was a penalty and everything. Hopefully, Gyökeres starts to bang. Because if that happens, I think there is a big arguments you can make behind those actions that Arsenal are going to win the league. You can make those. Obviously, questions about the manager, about the system still remain. But if he wins the league, those will be gone. Like, those literally will be gone, and nobody's going to question him ever again. But, hey, until that happens, we have all the power, all the tools, and we have all the abilities to do that. And we're going to do it. We're going to call out the BS that is going around. We're going to call out and say it as it is. And nothing is going to change. Big up PW, big up Czech Republic. Hopefully you're doing well today. Big up Marlon as well. Saka should play left wing and Nelly. Saka should play left wing and Nelly left. We should try playing the Saka and Nelly at different wings. I assume you mean Martinelli should be playing right wing. I assume you mean that, right? It increases more goal output. Would be interesting to see. Would be definitely interesting to see Arteta switching up the wings. Would be interesting to see, because there were some training footage, some training reports suggesting that Saka was training on the left wing, Madueke was training on the right wing. Will we see that on consistent basis at any point in the season, like a full game, full 3-4 games? Obviously, that also is a big question, because that would be very interesting dynamic to see. Because it switches up the Arsenal style of play. Even though with Bukayo Saka being out, there was a stat that even with Bukayo Saka being injured, still 54% of the attacks went through the right. And it would be interesting to see if Saka shifts to the left, will also the style change. Would that change? Would that improve? Would we become more versatile? Would we become more unpredictable, going more through the middle and through the left? Would be very interesting to see, I'm not going to lie. Sorry to just say that I can't get into women's football. I see Bear in my nephew's under 13 Sunday football league. Yeah, it's women's football is basically up to taste. Like that, it is what it is. It's not for everyone. I can watch it, but I also don't watch it a lot. Arsenal women's games, I tend to catch highlights, watch a few games here or there. Obviously, if it is a final or something like that, I definitely watch those because, well, Arsenal are in it and all this stuff. And the big games I tend to watch as well. So we'll see. Quiet day today. Nice to hear. Nice, relaxing day. Nice. Worse if Calafiori doesn't try to defend Bear. Yeah, Calafiori needs to start learning how to defend, definitely. What's up with that thumbnail? I'm still sad to see SR in Fulham kit. Yeah, same. What's up with that thumbnail? Well, I put Emil Smith-Rowe there because for me, like, Fulham are like, if Arsenal buy Chelsea players quite a bit, right? Fulham buy quite a bit of Arsenal players, Reece Nelson, Emil Smith-Rowe, Willian, Leno, and it goes on and on and on. We all know this, right? So it kind of is a bit of that one, and I'm still annoyed that he left. I'm genuinely annoyed that he left, because I would have loved to see him in this team. I still believe he added more value than Vieira at the time. I think on the left wing he could be very interesting, in the 8 as well, in the 10 definitely. But obviously with Wanyeri coming up, Max Dalman coming up as well, like it would be a nice dynamic to have quite a few English players, quite different dynamics. Obviously, nobody could question Emil Smith-Rowe's work rate, but I think he was quite underappreciated by Mikel Arteta in that regard. On top of all that, like let's not forget that Bukayo Saka and Emil Smith-Rowe single-handedly saved his job in the 3rd season. So yeah, the way he treats certain players, it is a mystery. I'm not gonna lie, it is a mystery, and to some extent, it's also kind of annoying and disgusting. But hey, we are not the coach, but we can call it out. Fulham have owned us 3 years now, 2. Last time we won was in 2023. We lost to them. Last time basically we won at Craven Cottage was 2023, right? Last time we won there was in 2023. Because we lost there 2-1 2 seasons ago, and last season it was a draw. So we need to make a statement and win there, because especially in these 7 games, right? And especially in Premier League, since we play Palace at home, we play Fulham away, we play Sunderland away, and we play Burnley away. If we drop points against any of those teams, right? Any of those teams, the win that we celebrated quite a bit to some extent against Newcastle, because we have done woefully there over the years, becomes a moot point. Because you cannot afford to beat these teams that you usually struggle against and then drop points against teams you tend to do good against. Obviously, Fulham is a bit of a different one. They definitely throw a challenge against us every single time with their physicality, with their style. Marco Silva is a very good manager. He has figured out some things, how he can annoy Arsenal. But this season, it has been a bit different, that teams actually succumb to Arsenal. It's a weird thing to say. Obviously, our defense is holding up very good so far. But certain teams, I didn't expect such results and such style of play against us. Because last year we saw how it went, 2 years ago as well, 3 years and all this stuff. But this season it feels a bit different. And it feels in a good way for Arsenal. The issue with this is how long we going to rely on set pieces to bail us out. We need Gyökeres to start scoring. We need Martinelli, Trossard to start scoring consistently, creating chances. We be more creative, more open. Maybe Eze can pick up the slack and stuff like that, because it's not looking great in that regard. Most of the time when we nick those 1-0, 2-1 wins from set pieces, it's defenders that bails us out, just like last season. And football as well feels in that weird phase that Arteta with Arsenal are kind of pushing the narrative of football, that set pieces at times are more important than anything in this game. Because you can see that when we attack, we purposely play for corners. We drag the ball to the edge of the goal line and everything, to the corner flag, and then we purposely kick it out of the defender just so we can have a corner. Obviously, we are good at those if you look at the overall picture, because some games it's a hit and miss, but we cannot do this on a consistent basis, though. Big up, Charles. Big up, Charles. Hope you're doing well. Apparently, it does not matter, Gyökeres, because King Kai is the one on the road to recovery, and we single-handedly take us to the title, some fans saying. Yes, they are. Kai Havertz, apparently, according to reports, this is Eros's big favorite word, because when I talk about reports during summer, he always calls me out on it, right? According to Hand of Arsenal and some Hand of Arsenal, let's just put it that way, right? Kai Havertz, right? Kai Havertz, Donkey Kong Kai, has blown away Arsenal staff with his approach to rehab. And it is understood that he is in the final phase of his recovery and could make a return earlier than expected. Well, basically, Havertz allegedly was scheduled to be back at some point in November, mid-late November, more specifically. But it looks like he could be back very soon, before the international break. Before November international break, he maybe could be back. Now, is that the fact that he's being rushed back or not? That's a different story, obviously, but might be something to it. But there are Arsenal fans that are saying that as soon as Kai Havertz is back, drop him for Gyökeres. Now, drop Gyökeres for Havertz. Make Gyökeres hold the bench, because Gyökeres is misfiring and he's a dud. He's useless. So it's an interesting one. Definitely, Arsenal fans are in a very weird state at the moment, what it feels like. Why does Arteta do anyways? Play their strong. Yeah. Big up Godfrey. Big up Godfrey. I'm good. Hopefully you're doing well too, my man. I can see Fulham match being a stinky board draw. That is the biggest worry. I think with Fulham, that is for me personally the biggest worry, that this game could turn out to be a stink fest. Could definitely turn out to be a stink fest, but I'm not too sure. Usually Fulham definitely goes forward, throws us a challenge and everything. So will be interesting to see how that develops and how that goes. But overall, yeah, it's not looking too great in those terms. It's not looking good in those terms. But definitely Fulham will be a tough challenge. People expect us to win. I do as well. But it's definitely not going to be as easy as people maybe make it out to be. The excuse will be the players are tired of the national duty. Exactly. It makes them more versatile. Yeah, exactly. But I don't know why he doesn't play players with their strong foot on the outside, not the inside, so they don't have to cut in all the time. So we'll see. You'll see 1 year in a Fulham kit if Arteta stays past the season. Oh, bloody hell, on loan, hopefully. Why Skelly was not included in the Golden Boy list, but when Yeri was, means when Yeri has a great PR. Yeah, basically, yeah. Skelly doesn't have that type of PR, 100%. Skelly should be in the top 3. Skelly should be nominated top 3 for me, maybe not, but nominated at least definitely. Just print the headlines already. A speedy recovered Gyökeres is going to feel like a brand new signing. That Wenger quote is gonna haunt us forever, isn't it? So it's pissing me off. Havertz can't even score from 5 meters, much less carry us to the trophy we need. Dude, they are saying that. Is that story about Havertz rehab same as the one where he supposedly bulked up? Arsenal PR is definitely on another level. I would play Havertz ahead of what I've seen of Gyökeres so far. Perhaps the competition will bring up. Maybe he needs some fire up his ass or something like that. Maybe. But we talked about this 2 days ago. And also I released a TikTok and a YouTube short today talking about this, that Havertz actually, in this system, how Arteta wants to play, fits better than Gyökeres, because Havertz has a good, decent first touch. He can pass the ball. He can play off the defenders, and he's more good for link-up play, right? Which also allows him to get into positions to score goals. The issue with Havertz is he has no finishing touch. When we look at Gyökeres, he has 2 bricks, 4 legs in terms of passing, right? At the same time, he can finish chances. But the fact that he cannot do the link-up play means he cannot drag out defenders maybe to that extent out of positions when defenders sit deep, and he doesn't get the chances. Because Gyökeres has literally got, it feels like, 0 support from the team in terms of creating specifically for him. If you look, and also, who said it? Was it? I don't remember who said it on the stream as well a few days ago. Might be Sheldon, might be PW. One of you guys said this. Might be Hendon, might be G Wheels. I don't remember on top of my head, but that Eddie Howe has adjusted the team to play to Voldemada's strengths, right? Mikel Arteta will not adjust the system to try and play to Gyökeres' strengths. We all know that. And I think that is going to hinder his performance and make him look worse than he actually is. And that, for me, is a big, big, big worry. Skyward over Gyökeres, man. What do you mean? Go talk to them that post that on social media, not us. But yeah, speaking of Arsenal PR, people, did you see the reports today? Did you see this? Arsenal have released new merch. Hey, ho, ho. Arsenal FC have released new merch. It's called ACW merch, on a cold wall merch, basically. And yeah, I'm not too sure what to make of it. Not like, I get that they need to release the merch, they need to build it up, they need to make money and everything, but yeah, the hoodies, the trainers, the jackets. There is an derby pins. You can buy a pin for 25 quid. 25 quid for a pin of Arsenal. ACW pin, 25 quid. Seems cheap. 250 pounds. Does Arsenal think we are all Elon Musk or something? Does Arsenal really think every single Arsenal fan is an Elon Musk? £250 for a jacket. Literally, that is like a £30 jacket with Arsenal badge on it, and that Arsenal badge is the rest of 220. Like, that's how nuts it is. A scarf for £45 if you're cold. No pun intended, by the way, in terms of the name. £175 for a top. £175. Holy crap. £175. Trousers for £175. You would think they are made out of gold for those prices. £55 for a football of Arsenal. It looks dirty, by the way, on the picture. It looks kind of dirty, I'm not gonna lie. But hey, £55, you know. £55. Socks for £50. A pair of socks for £50, you know. Pair of socks for £50. Terrace Harrington jacket. £350. Holy crap. £350. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh, but don't worry, guys. It's £350, right? But don't worry. Includes free delivery. At least you don't have to pay for shipping. £350, but you don't have to pay for the shipping. Hey, holy crap, these prices are outrageous, to say the least. £350. £155 for sweater, basically. £150 for offside t-shirt. £100 hoodie, scarf for £45. £125 for joggers. Oh my goodness gracious. £69 lol for t-shirt. £55 for a ripped up cap. Literally, you buy a £10 hat, you rip it apart in the front, and it costs you £10. You have to pay £55 for this. £55 for a ripped hat. Who the hell wants that? £20 for a bag. Oh, but you can get Gooner for £20. These prices, you know. 300. Seriously, do they think we are all Elon Musk or something? Do we have just casually 50,000 a day lying around in our side pocket for change? Because that's what it feels like. That's what it feels like. It's actually insane, if you ask me. Definitely insane. It's like, yeah. Oh, bloody hell. Do we have fresh legs for Fulham game? Those who didn't play for their national teams. Not that many. Like, we have Moreska. Maybe that's about it. Because Gyökeres played for Sweden. Dalman played for under-19s. Rice played. Saka played. Zubimendi played. Merino played. Norgard played. Calafiori played. Saliba, Gabriel, Timba played. Everyone played. All pivotal players available. Both have been ingenious and international. Now it says headache. You would think so. But it's not that is not a coincidence that they bang for national team, but not for the actual for our team. Those outfits look like unique. Kinda agree. The match is aimed at tourists who pay over the odds for tickets. Yeah, basically that. But £350 for a jacket is a robbery and a half. 350 goddamn pounds. Like, that is insane. The match has proved that fools are easily parted from their money. Yeah, basically. All made in Bangladesh, Turkey, and China for a few pennies. That is the same as Apple, because there was a lecture on this, and somebody said that to make an Apple phone in general costs about, if I'm not mistaken, about £100, something like that. Rest of the stuff is basically the Apple badge you pay for, and Apple doesn't change at all, to be honest, year to year. They just have good PR. It's something similar. Money, money, but can't sign good left back to back up Skelly and actual hand. Yeah, basically. That match is very good. Low. We haven't won the goddamn Prem in 24 years. Chelsea have won it. Liverpool, City, even Spurs won a trophy. Leicester have won the league. They have won the FA Cup. Newcastle, Crystal Palace have won trophies. Everyone wins trophies. It is actually insane. It is insane. I'm not gonna lie. It actually is insane. Yeah, soon to know. Basically, Arsenal are gonna get basically expanded, rebuilt, or whatever, something in those retooled, as Igal would say, most likely. And sooner rather than later, we will have Arsenal. We will have fashion shows at Emirates as well. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. It might happen. It might happen. We could get Arsenal. What's its face? Fashion shows very soon. Even my iPhone is made in China. iPhones are made there. Like, if you actually deep it, like, they are not made in USA at the end of the day, because you know the old phones which you could actually open. You could check the battery. You can change the battery. You have to take the battery out to change the SIM card and everything. Like, for example, old Nokias, right? You take the battery out. You can always see who made them, and there's always a writing made in Malaysia or something like that. They were never made in Finland. They were made in Malaysia, and it's always like that. Adidas, however, they are also not made in USA. They are made in also Malaysia. They're moving right now because there are some weird taxes for some places, so they're moving around a bit. But yeah, most of the stuff that actually costs a pretty penny, let's just put it that way, are made in one of those countries. You know, your Chinas, your Bangladeshs, Malaysias, and all these places, Pakistan even, and all this stuff. Like, it is like that. It is like that. You pretty much, if you are buying a big brand, you 90% pay for the brand and you pay for anything else. You pay for the name that is basically being glued or engraved on the item you are buying. You buy the name, not the product at the end of the day, most of the time. When the fun gives a flipping damn about match. Yeah, just relax. We have to talk about it. Foxconn make the phones for Apple. Foxconn have been accusing of treating their work. Yeah, it's something like that. There's always this stuff. Also goes all across the board all the time. It goes all across the board all the time. So, people, I have a question for you. Anyone watches like NBA? Anyone follows NBA and all this stuff? Because I know there are some people in the chat who follow NBA. There are people who follow NBA. So, because this would actually get some context if you follow NBA, so people would get this. But today I read that allegedly, not sure if it's true or not, obviously, a controversial new salary cap, which some believe will destroy the Premier League, could become a reality as early as next month. Why I mentioned NBA? Mostly because of the salary cap that NBA has, that NFL has, that the luxury taxes and all this stuff. Both Manchester clubs are known to be opposed the system, in shocking display of things, obviously, which would run on top of the new squad cost ratio rules. Based on 23-24 figures, that would mean an approximate limit of 550 million, and mean that some sides would be at immediate risk of the breach. To compound matters, the proposal is for a second breach. If you breach it once, okay, cool. If you breach it second time, you are getting dealt 6-point deduction with an additional point for every 6.5 million you overspend afterwards. What are your thoughts on this? Because this is a very weird one. I know what they're trying to do here. I totally understand it. But I don't know. Obviously, they need to limit the spending. The gap between Premier League sides and the sides that are coming up are way too big as well, to be honest. But overall, even to have some equality in general, maybe just don't do the salary cap, but distribute the money you get from sponsors, commercial deals, from TV revenue and everything more equally, for example. Distributed more equally. Do it like in La Liga, for example. Something like that. Because it's actually insane, if you ask me. It genuinely is insane. Also, the fact that you get more money getting relegated from Premier League than actually going up to Premier League is a weird one, to say the least. On top of all that, the fact that you can, if you play in the championship playoffs final and you win to go up, is the most expensive final in the world, pretty much. You get more money than actually finishing first in the championship. You might as well then go into playoffs and win it because you get insanely amount of time more money. Like, I know what they're trying to do here. They're trying to limit the spending, the costs, and everything. They're trying to level the field to a certain extent. At the same time, it could instantly backfire. It wouldn't take much for this to backfire. Because if you look at the teams and everything, it could actually go sour real quick in this regard. Especially the punishment-wise. Because if you breach it second time, you get 6-point deduction, right? Imagine you breach it two times. You get 6-point deduction, right? That could literally mean you either are relegated or you don't win the league. Like, it could cost you big time. Obviously, it's club's fault, no matter how you look at it. But the additional one you got you with an additional point for every 6.5 million overspent. So basically, imagine you breach it the second time for about 65 million, right? So first things first, you get 6-point deduction for breaching it the second time. And if you get 1 point for every 6.5 million for overspent, if you overspend 65 million, you get 10 more points deducted. So essentially, for breaching it for second time, you lose 16 points. 16 points. Obviously, the league isn't as close, for example, at the top or the bottom, but in the middle part of the league, it actually could cost you big time. It actually could cost you big time if you look at it that way. It is actually kind of wild, if you ask me, but hey, I guess it is what it is in those terms. It is what it is. Like, if you are putting it like that. Vanjeri at left wing would be a great idea, and Eze at 10 with Rice and Zubmendi. Yeah, most likely. Would love to see Vanjeri to start. Would love to see that. Would love to see Max Dauman get minutes. Would love to see Eze in the 10, but will we see that? That's the other big question. Let's just put it that way. Discuss about what you think about the new teams promoted to the Prem. Wait, what do you mean? What do you think about the new teams promoted to the Prem? What do you even mean by that? You need to start to use punctuation in your sentences, because if I put comma in 3 different places separately, this sentence has 3 different meanings. Let's just put it that way. It has 3 different meanings. I need to know what you mean by that. Who you think will stay or go back to championship? Too early to tell because it's only 7 games in, but at the moment Sunderland are looking strong. I think Leeds also might make it. I think Burnley are going down. Leeds are gonna either finish 18th, or they gonna finish 18th and they will be the first ones to relegate, or they're gonna finish about 15th. I think for Leeds it's gonna be either they're gonna be in the mid-table right, or they're gonna just miss out on staying up. I think it might be very close. I think. With Burnley, they're going down. With Sunderland, that is the biggest question mark for me. Sunderland feels like a dark horse at the moment because they had a brilliant start, but championship sides tend to have a very good starts of the season in Premier League, and then they just disappear. They start to pile. The losses start to pile up like insanely quickly. So the time will tell. But at least from all the promoted teams, I would say Sunderland are the favorites to stay up for me. Then it's Leeds, and then it's Burnley. Yeah, Sunderland can cook, and I think they're gonna stay up. They have also ex-Arsenal center back Ballard as well. How's that 115 charges saga going? No idea. Because there was so much talk, so much PR, so many news about it earlier even this year. I think it was this year even, because the year has just flown by. But overall, it has gone silent. It has gone grave silent. Give me a second. Sorry, Mrs. wanted something. But yeah, it's been grave silent. But yeah, I believe they will stay up and then lead. Yeah, I think Sunderland is gonna stay up. Leeds is gonna be one of those either or. I think they are a bit of a coin flip in that regard. They're either gonna stay up comfortably or they're gonna just miss out on staying up. It kind of feels that way. Big up Cooper. Big up Cooper. Hope you're doing well. Yes, people, smash the likes and subscribe if you haven't already. Big up Jackie. Big up Jackie. Big up, big up, big up, big up. Hopefully you're doing well today. Hope everything's fine. Hope nothing's bothering you today as well. Everything's great. Arsenal women's team still 0-0, by the way, against Benfica. 33 minutes played. But yeah, we are here to talk about, of course, Fulham. So just curious, anyone is expecting anything from this Fulham game? Something different, something unique, something like that? Or we are just expecting a boring game? That for me is the next big question. Because for me, I kind of am caught between two minds, just like Hendon. Hendon said it could be a very boring draw. I can see that. But he also can see it being a very nuts game to some extent. Although Marco Silva, I don't think is going to allow that. He knows how to play against Arsenal, at least at the Craven Cottage, at least at home. Because since we beat them 3-0 2 years ago, after that we have lost and drawn to them. So I think it's going to be interesting. Nice. Nice. Still 0-0 though. Unfortunately, we haven't scored yet. Are we even doing good in this game? Let me check it quickly. Oh yeah, we are dominating. Well, possession, we are dominating. Besides that, nothing too much. I'm not gonna lie. I guess it is what it is. But yeah, people, let's do it right now, as we have time. Starting 11, Fulham versus Spurs. Yeah, Spurs. Nice one. Fulham versus Arsenal. What are we expecting from this? Fulham versus Arsenal starting 11. What and who are we expecting to start, to play, and everything? That for me is the big question. Who are we expecting? 3 years of crap against Fulham. I want to see if he won't be stumped. Yeah, I think Eze will start. Because against Fulham, I don't think he's gonna put Merino in the 10. Obviously, Merino has had another great international break. He was, again, balling out for De La Fuente. But Mikel Arteta needs to realize that he is not De La Fuente. He doesn't play the same style as De La Fuente. And I don't see a reason for Mikel Arteta to go defensive and so cowardly against a team like Fulham. I just don't see it. So I think Eze will start. The question is, will he be a left wing or will he be a number 10? Because for me personally, I wouldn't mind Ranieri starting this game at all as well. I think Arsenal will struggle a bit, but I also believe that they will win the game. Yeah, I think that is the overall assessment for me personally as well. I think we're going to win the game, but they also expect us to struggle. Not a lot, but definitely expect us to struggle to some extent. That for me is the overall assessment, because they will going to get tough, physical, and nuts against us. They will be defensive, but they will have good counters, and they might catch us out on occasion. We'll see how that goes for us, though. Raya, Skelly, Gabriel, I see. So we are in kind of unanimous agreement that Raya is gonna play. I am expecting Timba. I think Arteta is gonna go almost with his best 11. At least I would expect that. Zubimendi, Rice, Gyökeres, and Sakaka. Okay. I think this is the general consensus how most players are gonna look. The 3 positions that are left blank at the moment are the ones I have the biggest questions about. Who is going to start at left back? Who is going to start at left back? Because Skelly played full 90 against Latvia, obviously. Skelly played full 90 against Latvia. And if we look at Calafiori, he played a full 90 against Israel. He played a full 90 against Israel in the last game of the internationals on October 14, 2 days ago, basically. For me, that left side is a bit of a question mark again as well. So we'll be interesting. Skelly, Gabriel Slibatimba, Rais Zubi, Eze Chusard, Sakayokeres, or maybe Vangieri at left wing and Eze at cam and Rais Zubimendi. So basically, yeah, I think Calafiori is still going to start because Calafiori is on a good form. That for me is the big thing. The only issue with Calafiori, well, not only, but one of the biggest issues with Calafiori is that he's a liability defensively. We all know that. We all understand that, right? The other issue with Calafiori is that he is on the brink, pretty much, of being suspended. I think he has 3 yellows in the first 7 games. And if he gets 2 more yellows, he gets an automatic 1-match ban. And that also could kind of make some, let's just say, display issues for Mikel Arteta in that regard. Because if Skelly plays and he gets a yellow, it's no big deal. If Calafiori gets his 4th yellow, yeah, it could be kind of rough. The thing is, though, these 4 games we have right now, I wouldn't be against Calafiori missing one of them due to suspension. Would not mind. Because these games are not that, as weird as it sounds, that big for us to feel missing Calafiori. Skelly can fill in for 1 game. After international break, when we have Chelsea, Aston Villa, Spurs, and all these teams, then Calafiori, whether you like it or not, he's going to start. He would be more crucial in the team. So if he gets those yellows, it actually wouldn't be the worst situation for Arsenal. Then again, saying that, it could become an issue. Let's just put it that way. If I was Arteta, I would put Kepa instead of Raya for Fulham game, save Raya for Atletico Madrid. Well, the thing is, I don't expect Fulham to do much, even though they're going to have counters and everything. I don't expect Fulham to just be groundbreaking. And our defense has been quite resilient this season, and I think Raya will not have too much to do. At least that's what I expect, of course. So Raya won't be in such a big risk of picking up an injury. And there is no reason also for him not to play. Also, the fact that David Raya hasn't played, if I'm not mistaken, pretty much at all since Unai Simon was in goal for the game against against Turkey, and against Bulgaria they had Unai Simon in goal as well. So Raya hasn't played since the start of international break. Raya needs to play to be in some sort of a form against Atletico Madrid. Because playing against Atletico Madrid completely cold without any game practice for 2 weeks, it's not going to be a good thing. It's definitely not going to be a good thing. So I definitely would start Raya in this regard. I definitely would start Raya in this regard. Yeah, Calafiori is getting beaten too easily by the attackers, definitely. He needs to show more resolve. Yeah, but it's very hard for Calafiori to defend when half the time he is at left wing, at number 10, number 8, right wing, right back. He plays everywhere. That is the nuts part. He has more freedom for movement than any of our attackers in this team, which is also kind of preposterous and weird to say, but it is like that. And that is another big worry because if we get caught out, it could be a massive issue. He needs to try some slide cycle or something. He doesn't need to do slide cycles because all the times he has gotten injured, he has done the splits or does slides. I think he has done splits and slide cycles or slipped on the pitch. No slipping on the pitch, please. Let's just put it that way. I would say strong starting lineup and change if we manage to get a good lead. Yeah, exactly. I think that is the safest option, especially before Atletico Madrid, when you need the players also in some way, shape, and form in the system and everything. So yeah, I'm expecting Eze to be in the 10. I think Eze is gonna play in the 10, and I also believe that Martinelli is gonna be left wing because he scored against Japan. Obviously, he scored against Japan playing as a striker, right? Which is a bit different story. But overall, I think he needs to play. He will have to play because Arteta is not that imaginative to actually play. For example, Wanyeri there or put Eze on the left and put Wanyeri in the 10. Arteta is not going to take the risk. I think for Arteta, the safest bet in this scenario, just like Jackie said, is to go with the strong lineup, and arguably this is the strongest lineup we can put out at the moment. Get good outcome in the first half, and then just assess in the second half with subs. I think that is the best potential outcome. The issue with this is when Arsenal score a quick goal, or even once they score a goal, they tend to sit back a lot, which means Arteta is kind of handcuffed and he's limited in terms of making substitutions to take players off, give them a rest, and all this stuff. Obviously, partially, it obviously falls on the manager. But on the other hand, it also falls on the players. So why the hell they're not doing that to some extent? Then the actual defenders, why we can't score goals? Yeah, exactly. The attackers don't have the free room to do what they want. Exactly. And that is a worry, no matter how you look at it. It definitely is a worry, to say the least. But let me check something. Let me check something. I'm just looking at certain aspects of the game. I'm just looking at certain aspects of the game at the moment. No. Season. So basically, this is the heat map of Riccardo Calafiori this season. Since we play with a lot of possession, obviously, he doesn't spend that much time at left back defending, right? But as you can see, he mostly is in that left mid, left wing, left 10 type of role, with indications that he's at striker or at right as well. Ironically enough. That is the nuts part. That is the nuts part. Calafiori's heat map is actually kind of insane, if you ask me. It is like left back's heat map is mostly left mid, left wing, or left 10, even left 8. Let's just put it that way. Left 8. That's the positions where he spends the most time. Because the left back spot is not that hot. Let's just put it that way. He doesn't have the courage or hunger to go for more goals, to score more, to shut. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, because he doesn't want to get caught out and lose that 1-0 lead he just got. And that is another big issue there. Another big issue there, if we are putting it that way. Now, I want to check something. I really want to check something. 2014. Yeah, it's the same pretty much. Matches. Give me a sec. I'm just checking for matches, right? I'm checking some info. Let's just put it that way. I'm checking some info. Give me a second. I want this to load. Now, I wanna look at this because this is very interesting. Yeah, the left back spot for Arsenal is not a left back spot because even if we look at Skelly's heat map from last season specifically, this is Skelly's heat map last year as a left back. Do you see any left back action there, or you mostly see left 8, left 10 type of situation going on? Left wing, left mid, left 8, left 10. That is the thing. Calafiori has pretty much the same. The thing with Calafiori is, if you notice that in the box, Skelly doesn't go that often. If you remember Calafiori's heat map in that penalty box for opposing side in the attack, he is there quite a lot. Quite a lot, just to say the least. But hey, can't do too much, can't say too much. Let's just put it that way. Why you think City and Liverpool don't worry when other teams score against them? They will push for more goals. So that's why, unlike us, yeah. Just look at the Newcastle away game. Newcastle were at home. Sorry, Liverpool's away game at Newcastle. They were 2-0 up. They had 10 men. Newcastle. It felt like game was over, and then basically Newcastle almost put them to the sword. They should have been 4-2 up with 10 men. And then everything changed. They actually went for it. They attacked, and obviously 16-year-old Rio made them win the game. City as well, they overwhelm their opponents when it's necessary, just like Liverpool. Arsenal don't do that as much. They do it occasionally, but they don't tend to do that as much. And the issue with that is, though, when we try to do it, and if we even create something, our finishers don't have the confidence or the ability to finish those chances on that consistent basis. That's another big thing. We are the only team who has defenders more active in the attack than attackers. Yes, exactly. Our defenders score more goals than our attackers as well. Let me check this. 25, 26 stats for Arsenal specifically. These are Arsenal stats this season. Top goal scorer, Victor Gyökeres, 7 games, 3 goals. After that, it's Zubimendi, Yuri Timber, obviously Saka. But then again, look at the next ones who have 1 goal. Obviously, lots of them have 1 goal. But Gabriel, Rice, Calafiori, Merino. There is Martinelli as well. And obviously, then there's none of those. But we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 goal scorers we have had this season. We have 9 goal scorers this season when we have scored 14 goals. 14 goals and 9 different goal scorers. And look at the assists as well. 2 for Declan, 2 for Calafiori, 2 for Eze, 1 for Timber, 1 for Odegaard, and 1 for Trossard. As you notice, again, quite a bit of midfielders, defenders in there. Eze, Rice, Calafiori, Timber. Interesting, isn't it? Interesting. And if we are looking at it from that perspective. We are the only team who has defenders. Yeah. We do that, unfortunately. We do that. But it's a weird one. It definitely is a weird one in terms of Arsenal. But I don't know. I think these 7 games as well will be very pivotal how much Gyökeres is going to get judged. Because if Gyökeres keeps this up and he doesn't score, or he scores the same amount as he has right now, 3 goals in 7 games, he has 4 Premier League games. If he scores only 1 goal in those, let's just say, for example, so he has 4 goals in 11 Premier League games, people will be annoyed and people will start calling him getting dropped. I can see that. I absolutely can see that happening, unfortunately. And that for me is another worry, because people are not going to give him time. When we signed Havertz, Arteta said give him 55 games to figure out everything, basically 1 season, right? With Gyökeres, people don't give him that much time, despite the fact that, well, it sounds like a double standard. They should, but it is what it is, I guess, at the end of the day. As we talked about this as well a few days ago, I am a bit worried about Gyökeres, I'm not going to lie, because he's not getting the chances, and we are not creating for him to get those chances. I'm worried about that as well. How long will this continue? Because if this keeps up as it is right now, as soon as Havertz is back, Gyökeres is getting dropped. I also can see that, because Gyökeres overall doesn't fit the system, right? It's kind of a lose-lose situation for Arsenal in this regard, because Gyökeres doesn't fit the system for Arteta, which means Arteta must change the system to basically adjust to help Gyökeres. And he's never going to do that, let's be real, which is a lose situation. Gyökeres doesn't have link-up play, but he can score. Havertz, on the other hand, he has the link-up play, but he can't score. It's a lose-lose. We don't have if they play together, maybe there will be some sort of a dynamic. But since we played them separately, one or the other, one has one type of qualities and they lack the other qualities. However, the other player actually has the other qualities that the first player lacks, but he doesn't excel in the first player's qualities that he needs. And I think that is a big issue. And I said this as well on the stream. If Arteta wanted this type of number 9 who can link up play and score goals like Firmino and players like that, he should have signed Julian Alvarez, not Gyökeres or someone like that. But hey, I guess I'm just playing devil's advocate here a bit. But yeah, I wanted Gyökeres at Arsenal without shadow of a doubt. But at the moment, also sometimes looks like having someone like Julian Alvarez there would be much, much more useful. Big up Hyper Protagonist. Hope you're doing well today, my bro. Hope you're doing well today. Let's just put it like that. But yeah, people, what are your predictions for the game, by the way? What are your predictions, score predictions for this game? Do you think Arsenal are going to smash them? Will it be a draw? Will Arsenal lose? What are your predictions for this Fulham versus Arsenal game? Do you think Gyökeres is going to score? Do you think it's going to be a goal-scoring match, or it's going to be a bore-fest as it tends to be at many times with Mikel Arteta and Arsenal? What are you expecting from this game? Let me know in the chat. Let me know. Let me know in the chat, what do you think? Because I have my thoughts in my mind, but I don't want to share them because I don't want to influence you all. I want to see what your opinion says. Fusion is not jazz. It's going for 2-0 Arsenal. Like typical Arsenal, keep a clean sheet and score 2 goals. Like it seems like that under Arteta. We score 1 or 2 goals and keep a clean sheet many times. 1-1. Arsenal a real stinker of a match. You think it's going to be a draw? The nuts part is I can see both results. And that for me is in a way I'm caught between two minds, because I can see Arsenal winning this game. Without shadow of a doubt, I can see. After international break, though, I can see also as drawing, because teams tend to struggle after international break, especially the teams that have lots of players out on international duty, and obviously Arsenal is one of those teams. So, I don't know. I don't know even what to say. I'm kind of caught in between two minds about the win and the draw. I'm going for a win. My prediction is a 2-0 win. Maybe 3-0. Maybe a penalty is going to be the third goal. But I think we're going to score 2. Our defense is going to hold up. Definitely our defense is going to hold up. But yeah, definitely believe so. Definitely believe Arsenal are going to win the game. More than draw. I expect us to do something like in those terms. But yeah, like look at even if you think about Arsenal's results, 2-0 a win against West Ham, 2-0 against Olympiacos, 2-1 against Newcastle, 2-0 against Port Vale, 2-0 against Athletic Bilbao, 1-1 against City, 3-0 against Forest, 1-0 loss against Liverpool, 5-0 against Leeds, and of course a 1-0 win against United. So most of the time, we haven't conceded more than 1 goal in the league or Carabao Cup so far this season. And just like in Champions League, we have conceded 2 goals, and we have 3 goals. We have conceded 3 goals. And yeah, that's about it. Most of the time we keep a clean sheet, hence why I'm kind of swaying towards this 2-0 result. Also, players having an eye on the Atletico Madrid match in the week. Yeah, 100%. Hence why I want the Arsenal to basically go out and just get the job done in the first half. Make it 3-0 or something like that, so we can relax, we can chill, we can make the substitutions that are necessary. Let's just put it that way. The things necessary, and we do the job. That's about it. That's what I want from Arsenal. That's what I want. Because if we score quickly, we can give the rest for other players, and we are golden. But if we score 1 goal and sit back once again, we will have no room for substitute changes or anything. And we also will have no room for error once again, even though I think our defense is going to hold up despite that. Fulham always gives us a tough game at the Cottage, but I say 3-0. Interesting, 3-0. So we have had a 2-0, 1-1, and a 3-0. We haven't. The last time we won at Craven Cottage was 3-0, by the way. In 2023, when we beat them, it was 3-0. Afterwards, we basically drew when we have a loss and a draw. So it's also that not looking great. Big up, my boss. Hope you're doing well today, my guy. On a 40-mile bike ride. Damn. Enjoyed that. Absolutely enjoyed that. Like, that is actually some nice distance you're doing there. Pretty damn nice. 64.3 kilometers. That's actually kind of nuts. Enjoy yourself. That's good for cardio, good for your stamina and everything. Good job. Enjoy life and basically train. Be healthy. That's great. Unlike some people who just sit and do nothing. Fantastic. Be active. Do something. Congrats to you. Hope you enjoy your bike ride. Hope there's a nice scenery as well, so you don't have to look only at houses and random I don't know, grass growing on the side of the road. Hopefully there's some nice scenery, like maybe mountains, maybe in a sunset, who knows, and stuff like that. As long as it's also spectacular, you cannot go. It's a win-win in those terms. But yeah, I guess in that regard. But Arsenal, yeah, it's this game, like, for me, yeah, as I said in the beginning of the stream, these 7 games we have, and we talked about this yesterday as well, are must-win games, and they're very pivotal for our season. 4 games in Premier League, which all need to be won, because if we lose or drop points in any of those, game against Newcastle means nothing, that win, since we all know how we did previously at the St. James's. In Champions League, we must beat Atletico Madrid and Slavia Prague. About Slavia Prague, I'm not that worried. I'm more worried, obviously, about Atletico Madrid, even though we are playing at Emirates. Because as soon as we lose that one game, it's not going to look good. We still have to play Bayern at home. And if we lose that, it could be Peakums. Yes, we finished 3rd last year in the group stages, in the league stage. Yes, we were 3rd with 16 points. But let's not forget that last year in that top 8, there was no City, no Juventus, no Real Madrid, no PSG, no teams like that. This year, they're going to be up there. Which means less room for error, and we need to be on point and on focus every single time, which is another thing that I think people tend to overlook when they say, yeah, Arsenal will qualify easily. It's not going to be that easy. Because as soon as we go into that group, in that stage where we need to play 2 extra games, we can get anyone. And to some extent, anyone can beat anyone over 2 legs. And one wrong move, one wrong bounce, and Arsenal are out. We can also cannot do that. I expect more goals from open play. Too much money they spend just to depend on set pieces, Larry kind of goal. Yeah, that is one of also the biggest issues here, because it was the same thing last year and the year before. Especially last year, remember, against United. I'm not talking about the cup game, I'm more talking about the league game. That was at, I don't remember, was it at Emirates? I think it was at Emirates. Like, we played against Amorim, it was only his 2nd or 3rd game in charge. And he completely nullified us from open play, for example. We had 2-point-something XG, and people said, oh, look, we had fantastic XG. But if you look even at XG overall, if you actually look deeper into that XG, which obviously I don't care about XG, but I'm going to use it as a reference point. We had 0.6 XG, 0.6 XG from open play. We had 1.6 XG from set pieces. We need more goals from open play. We are one of the worst teams in Premier League in open play, ironically enough. And that is a big worry. That is a big, massive worry for me. Because if this keeps up, our long throws, corners, free kicks, set pieces, they're not going to hold up. They literally are not going to hold up. At some point, they're going to run out dry, just like last year. We were scoring them left, right, and center. Then we went on a basically silent period. The luck was out. And it could happen this season. It will happen this season as well. Not just could. It will happen this season. And that is a big worry until he resolves that. Sadly, under this manager, we won't get that up. But yeah, that is another thing. With this Arsenal team, we want to pass the ball into empty net, pretty much. And that's never going to happen when you play this robotic style of football as well. We are allergic to shoot from distance. which is also a weird thing because we should be shooting for distance. It's like they have some sort of strict instructions that they are forbidden to release the ball from outside of the box, for example. It feels that way. Yes, we get an occasional shot, but if you look sometimes when other teams play, they pop off about 5, 6 of those per 5 to 10, let's just say 5 to 10 during the game. We do it. We are lucky if we get 3, 4 as well. We don't take chances. We just play it safe. We don't take no risks. And that is another big issue with that. We are too safe, too pragmatic, and sometimes even too predictable. But hopefully that will change. But yeah, hopefully we beat Fulham as well. But for today, people, I'm going to be signing off. So people, like the stream, subscribe if you're new. Hopefully you enjoy the stream. I'm going to see you all tomorrow, see what tomorrow brings because it's Friday. We most likely are going to do the Arteta Waffle House Mickey Ross settings in the interview. We'll see what he has waffled about, what he's going to blabble about tomorrow. But for today, I'm going to be signing off. So take care, stay safe, enjoy your Friday tomorrow, enjoy this evening as well. If you're into women's football, watch Arsenal ladies play against Benfica in Women's Champions League. But yeah, for today, I am out. Peace.